Welcome back, everybody. My name is Mr. Llama. As I'm sure you know, you've been watching, hopefully, at least through part 1 and part 2 of Diamond Wednesdays. And this is part 3, so this is going to be the last part, the last replay that we do go over. And we are going to be following Kekos, the Red Zerg. So this is a ZVT, and of course, as I said before, it's Diamond. So I'm going to give you your 3 big goals, and I'm going to point out a lot of minor things, of course, along the way, because, hey, minor things really start to matter up at this level for sure. And the higher you go, the more the small things count. So this is ZVT, right? I believe, yes it is. So this is ZVT, which is going to be a little different. Finally, we had 2 ZVPs, one from the P's perspective, one from the Z's perspective. And so now we're going to take this Zerg in ZVT. And if you do have any replays that you want casted, feel free to please send them to me. If you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/MrLlamaSC, same as my Twitch, of course, then you can drop a replay off in my inbox, and I have a little video even on there for how to do so, how to submit it, how to go to drop.sc and upload it. And of course, I want to know your name, so I know who to watch in the video, and then what league you are. So if you just do that and you drop it in, you know what? You basically get free coaching, free replay analysis right here. So definitely something that I would say you should consider. Kekos going out for the 15 hatch, bringing it down at that 200 mineral mark. So right when it gets down there, he can drop the hatch. And there we go. So smart already right off the bat. And what are you scouting for, Kekos? You are scouting for a gas. That is right, my friend. So we see a gas, and what does that mean? Seeing that guy's right there means, hey, I don't have to worry about any crazy early extreme pressure. And you know what? Take this drone and go home. You don't need to sit around and wait anymore, and there you go. You're taking it back, you're sending it home. Careful with this overlord, though, my friend. That could be tricky. I think you're going to be okay. I really hope so. You should be okay if you put it between there. So, I think that's with the overlord speed that's now allowed. So, taking your pool, your extractor, you have the overlord here over the scouting. Everything so far flawless for Kekos, doing exactly as you need, and not getting on your gas immediately. So taking a little bit of time there. That's of course just a small thing that you could work on if you take that gas right there. If not, if you don't want to get on gas immediately, start taking that gas 40 minerals later, you know. I imagine you did though, and you were just looking somewhere else. So we have the pop right there. Queen in production, good. And a spine crawler going to go ahead and go down. Little early for a spine crawler when you see your opponent get gas. He's going to be doing reactor Hellion, right, we imagine. Yeah, there we go, going for the reactor Hellion. And as you can see, there's not going to be any pressure. The worst off you'd have is 2 Marines, which you could deal with queens and drones just fine. Something I'd recommend, doing a little drone transfer maybe, simply because this is your safest base. Your safest base is your main. So you want to not mine this out as fast, right? In case for some reason you have to get forced back up in here a little later. So, you know, possibly just do a drone transfer. Also good to have the drones down here. In case he does bring a couple of Marines, then you can go send the drones at him and just micro them back and forth, yada yada yada. So we're going to send out the little Ling Scouts, of course, and just wait for the Hellions, totally fine. But if you do want to get the spine crawler up, you can actually put it up around 28 minutes. Something like that. And interesting choice. By moving that, now you expose this whole drone line to the reactor Hellion runaround. So I'm not quite sure about that. I'd say just after every time you inject, move this queen right over here to block this ramp, as you're doing now, and see if you just block with that. Then move your spine crawler over here or something, or you can leave right there to poke away if they do get in. So by having this triple blocked, it's kind of a little redundant right there, and you're exposing all this over here, and now you're making 2 spine crawlers when really you don't even need this one right here if you're going to be going for that block. So that's just a small thing. How do we do on scouting? I like your overlord spread. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Everywhere that you need to be right now with those overlords. And as you can see, we're getting a little oversaturated in this main. This is where that drone scout would definitely come in handy, right? So we already have 16 as the optimal to have. You can go all the way up to 24. The next 8 get half mining, and anything beyond that really doesn't mine anything additional. So you're setting your rally point down there, but you should be doing a little bit of a drone transfer right now to move down. As you can see, of course, you only have, what, not enough. So here he comes around the back right there, and you're going to have to pull these up. You can send your queens over there to start poking away if you wish. And maybe if you're going to go for 2 spine crawlers, you can move this spine crawler back right in here then, and then just block the ramp. So just something to think about to be a little bit safer. And also something to note is you have a decent amount of gas, and your lair does pop. So we'll see what you go, where you go with that. Spire. Okay. So if you're going to be going for a spire, you want to have these 2 geysers right here. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now, and you let them kill off a lot of larvae actually right there. Not what we want. So we see marine tank, which is going to be his next push, and you've taken your 3rd base. I like that. You may have to be careful though taking that 3rd base with marine tank on the way, because of course that can be kind of tough to defend. So I would say feel free to take a macro hatch right in here, and it is a lot safer. You do not need this 3rd base as much for all of the resources right now. You want this 3rd base for the larva at this moment, because hey, you know, you're going lings, yada yada yada. So you want to get that out, of course, for that. So I would imagine this 3rd may have a chance of going down if your opponent hits some sort of push. You know, they could push in right now and you got nothing. And what does he have? Yep, so here comes the low push. So he can push over there, as I was saying, and then you don't really have anything to defend this. You don't have any scouting because he has the Hellions out. And so it's just kind of like a tough thing to defend. So generally, if you do see the player not go for roaches, because if you go for roaches, you can gain back that map control at least until he goes banshees, if he does. But if you go roaches, you can do that. If you stick on the lings, I generally see a lot more macro hatches put down than 3rd bases because they're just hard to defend. Straight up, that's the answer. I love the creep spread, doing a great job with that. But you see, now you have this spire up. And what do we have? Nothing to do with the spire. We only have 238 gas because, hey, we just got these geysers right here. And it puts us, and we have 4 on this one, that's fine, whatever, you know, small mistake. But that puts us in a bad situation now because we invested this tech. Oh, yeah, we're going to get this great spire tech. And then you have absolutely nothing to dump. This is why a lot of times you'll see players take that macro hatch because it's a little safer. They get lings out instead. To help deal. So maybe over droned a tiny bit. You have to be kind of careful. Cancel the queen, hopefully. Yep, good job. Oh wait, no you didn't. Oh crap. Okay, so we're gonna lose queen. That's cool. But yeah, so now we don't have anything for mutas out. This is why you see players who go mutalisk, they're banking like 1100, 1200, 1200, something like that. And then they just go 12 mutalisk, right? And then they just make muta, and then they get up that muta ball because hey, 3 mutalisk does absolutely nothing in this game. 2, 3, 4 mutalisk is not going to be helpful at all. So you've kind of, you know, you haven't put yourself in the best situation right there. Because of that, you could also have mined more. Are you oversaturated here? No, you're perfectly saturated. Okay, you're fine. You went for speed on your overlords. Okay. So you kind of invested all around here, and it's just kind of a not great composition, right? And so now, like, what do you do with this spire? This right here is an investment you made with this tech. Why'd you even get lair at this point if you're not going to be using this, right? So instead of spending all that money on the lair and the spire, you know, you could have saved all that money into lings and banes or just another macro hatch. That's a macro hatch plus gas, plus all the guys that you have mining gas right now. So see, we're starting to bank up this money, and you're going to make, you know, 4 mutalisk. Okay, you know, like I was saying before, 4 mutalisk don't really do too much in this matchup. And now you're definitely behind, and he can start pushing out with this crazy army right here. And you are going to have to move out and get a big hit on this army, and here is how you do this, my friend. Right, so you may already be 1 step ahead of me or a little bit behind. You want to have this army basically chilling like right up here, right? And you also want to have control of this tower, of course. And if you do, you can have this army chilling right up here. So then as soon as you see this army going la 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 la, surround it, blow it up, right? Also, you can continue your creep spread. These have been sitting like this for a long time. And now he's going to do some fancy little drop play, probably. If he's not, and now you let him siege up, and now is where we're starting to get in trouble. And see, so you let him get all the way to your creep, not at all what you want to do, and now you have this mutas, but hey, 4 mutas, as I said before, don't do anything. And a couple mutas that'll just burn away really quickly. So had you had, you know, all the mutalists that you wanted right there, that would have actually been effective. If you had, you know, 12, 13, 14 mutalisks right there, you could have gone, bam, tank gone, bam, tank gone, and all of a sudden he's on one tank, and then you just mass up your lings even more so, and you can run some up around here, and then you just go swarm, and you swarm his army, and he's dead. But instead, you're trying to attack from one direction. You don't have many mutalisks to really do too much damage, and you let him get all the way to your creep and siege up. That is such a huge mistake. If a Terran gets to your creep and sieges up, you are in a very bad position. The game's not over, but the game is now shifted into the Terran's favor most likely. So normally a Terran would have a third base already up and mining by now. Not the best Terran right now that you are playing, and also no turrets, so yay, free SCV kills. But you're going to lose your third. Possibly. You only send about half your stuff, and once again, he gets sieged up at your creep. So you're going to be able to trade really effectively right here, which is really nice. And he only has 4 Marines right there. I would take them head on. See, you're running away scared from absolutely nothing. Okay, there's more Marines, but they're all spread out, right? He only has he only had 4 or 5 Marines right there to fight. So kind of be wary of what you're running away from. And now you're going to get some nice Baneling hits off. Okay. You have some more Lings here that you've done nothing with, and now you're just sacrificing Banelings one by one by one. And that's going to cost you, right? So that's going to probably be game. You're going to have to pull these back. I mean, it won't be game quite yet, but it'll be game in the sense that, okay, you're not in a very good position game. So mutas need to be engaging, There you go. More Lings. You can go be engaging. You've lost a lot of overloads right there. Okay, so you're finally going to kill this off. Oh, he did. He did take the third at the gold. Okay, so let's go over your goals, right? Goal number 1, if you're going to be chilling on that Ling Bane right there and he has map control, taking your third may be kind of risky, right? Because without map control, you don't see what he's going for. He could go right into Banshees right there if you want to, but you don't have roaches. You need the roaches, I would say. I don't say you necessarily absolutely need them, but if you're not a GM player, and I mean even a lot of GM players, you see Stefano gets the Roach Ling out, and then you can defend this because then you have map control. Then you can watch what his army pushes out, and then you can go for the surround. But if he can get in here and siege up right there, you can't fight that army, right? You're going to have to sacrifice that third. So that's goal number 1, is a little bit better reasoning, possibly take a macro hatch right there instead, and utilize whether you have map control or not, or at least try to gain your map control somewhat. Goal number 2, that's kind of a strange goal number 1, I know, but it's a big thing. You know, if you lose that third like that when you could have had the macro hatch in there, that's a lot of production that you lose, and it just kind of puts you in as not of a great position. Goal number 2, if you're going to be going for a tech, please go for a tech. You have to. When you go for Mutalisk, you have to invest in Mutalisk heavy. Otherwise, you're in a bad situation. And by that I mean you have to get these geysers fast, right? Take all 4 geysers and then be expanding to lair. You went up to lair on 2 geysers, and then you built a spire, and then you took these, and by the time that happened, you only had 400 gas, right? So you're not going to win like that. Okay, so we're going to push in here, try and do a little more damage, okay. Goal number 3, and I actually want to change this to goal number 1. Do not let a Terran player get to your base and siege up right next to your creep. That's the worst. Try and catch him before he sieges so often, and once again he just gets to walk in here, siege everything up, and I mean, I know you can't do as much right now because, hey, you don't really have a lot, a couple infestors, whatever it is, but at least try and be proactive in, oh, careful, at least try and be proactive in not letting him get there. So a lot of times you've been able to just sit units right up here if you wanted to, or you could have sat them up there when he was pushing around with those marine tanks. Like, there were just a lot better positions for your army as opposed to sitting here waiting for him to walk up when you see him with his army, siege, 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 and then you back up and then you attack all straight in right at his army. Not gonna work. So those are going to be the 3 goals that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to, of course, order them up differently. 1, don't let him get to your creep and siege up, at least not without a fight. 2, be aware of when you can expand and when you cannot. You can't when you have that map, or don't have that map control, and especially when you see him going for that marine tank like that. You know a push is coming. And number 3 is, if you're investing in Mutatech or just tech, make sure you're investing actually in the tech, as opposed to just kind of investing, and then you have, and here we go again. It's like going for the hive, and you have a lot bigger problems. You have all this money that you're not going to get any broodlords out. You still don't have corruptors. You have to make corruptors, and then you're going to make what, 1 broodlord? That's not going to get you anywhere. You could be throwing down macrohatch, queens, and then you can go inject it, and then you can just get out a crap ton of zerglings right now, and possibly clean it up. And I mean, the game's already over at this point, right? We understand that, but I'm saying the decision making of what you need to do needs to be there. Right now, you just seem to be a little bit off on that, and it's tough as a zerg. I understand that. It's definitely one of the hardest races in terms of, like, you have to react to everything. So it's a little bit more difficult, I would agree, but definitely something right there. Those are the 3 things that I want you to work on. And that is going to be it. That's going to be part 3. My name is Mr. Llama, and as I said before, please submit some replays. I got a nice set of replays there. I made a little post on Reddit, and thank you to the community right there for submitting a bunch of replays, so I should be good for a decent amount of time, at least not like a decent amount of time, but I've got some good gold ones, some good platinums. I'm still looking for bronze. I didn't have any bronze players submit actually from that Reddit. There's some people said they would. Maybe they'll come back later with them. But yeah, so submit, and I just cast these, straight up Monday. So I say that every time. Sunday through Thursday. Sunday, of course, bronze, silver. Monday, gold. Tuesday, plat. Wednesday, diamond. And Thursday is Masters Day. Tomorrow is going to be Masters Day, and we already have some top 8 masters that have sent in replays. So it's going to be a good day, and I'm going to put some extra analysis into those to look at all the little details, because that's really when those matchups really start to get good, and the tiny things really, really do add up. So thank you everybody for watching and sending it in. My name is Mr. Llama, as I said before, and I will see you guys tomorrow.